Everything. It is Monday, April the 15th, 2024, and I am out here harvesting some dandelion because my intent is to wash them, dry them, and use them in some tea and maybe even some sauces. Now, this is what I'm doing. I'm not telling anybody to go do it, but I am trying to be more plant-based. I've already started juicing more this year, so my recommendation is, if it's something you're interested in, do your research. I'd also like to dry them and use them as an additional spice, like my moringa powder in my smoothies and stews, like curries, that kind of thing. So I'm not telling anybody to try it. I'm saying if it interests you, feel free to do your research on it. And if you can't tell, I have a whole bunch of dandelions that have decided it's time to sprout in this yard. So that's what we're gonna do. I am going to cut the flower off of the stem. The leaves and the flower is edible, but I'm only going for the flower at this point. And I am going to wash it in either some white vinegar or some of that fruit and vegetable wash you could find at the store. It's now about maybe high 50s. Yesterday we went to 85 in no time flat, and hubby decided he wanted to cut the grass around 3 o'clock, the hottest part of the day anyway. So I did some on the push mower and also the riding mower. We got it knocked out probably within 2 hours, and that's just doing the livable space, and even got the garden area weed eated. So I am going to work on getting this done, bring you back. Yesterday I also got to plant some more lettuce. I did some carrots using the broadcasting method, cabbage, Swiss chard, and I want to say kale was added to that list. So, and those were planted in the bags, the grow bags that's on the bench. So hopefully we could have a bit of succession planting going. Let me get this. See how much of this I could get harvested and bring you back. And everything. It is Tuesday, the 16th of April 2024. It is about 7:20. Just got back in from releasing the krakens, getting them situated, and also harvested me some more dandelions. So yesterday, after I opted to wash them, I dried them in the oven for about 2.5 hours. So in the videos that I've seen, it said you can dehydrate them at 130. My oven starts at 170, so I had the door cracked a bit to vent it, so I also put a date on it. So this is going to be used for tea. Next, I have this tub full of some more. What I'm going to do with these is I am going to grind it into a powder, and this is what I've harvested today. And what I'm going to do is take the petals off of the flowers. I am going to put them in this jar, put some saran wrap over it. But before I put the saran wrap, I'm going to use some avocado oil. I'm going to make some salve. Then put saran wrap over it and put it in a cool, dark place, which most likely for me is going to be the stairs going down to the basement. And every time I go down there to turn on and off the grow lights, I'm going to shake it up. So I'm going to try some salve because I tend to be ashy. It's not one of my main focus of showering and lotioning and that kind of thing. Frankly, don't have time for it. However, since I'm working on my insides and trying to make the insides more healthy, I need to work on the outside and making it, the outside healthy and protected as much as possible. And since our skin is the largest organ, I need to start focusing on getting my skin right. So this is going to take, from what I see, about 10 days of just shaking it up. And then you separate the oil from the petals, put it in a double boiler with some beeswax, and you could do some essential oils. For me, if I put anything, it's probably going to be a little bit of orange, because you know I'll be out there in the summer and bugs, and maybe the orange or lavender will repel them. And we'll see what we could do with some salve. So one, let me get this grind up and try to make it into a powder. Two, let's get the petals separated. And three, let me get some tea brewing for this morning, and I'll bring you back. So a few disclaimers, and I am going to link a few videos in this vlog. Some people recommended washing the dandelions after you harvested them. Some did not. I opted to wash mine, especially the one that I was going to use for the tea and the powder. So I think that's just preference. My thinking is if it's going to go in a dehydrator / oven, then it would automatically kill off any bugs that may be in the flour based on the heat. But I still opted to wash mine. They ended up coming out of the wash and they look like a wet cat. And then I air dry them on a dish towel for a couple more hours before I put them in the oven for 2.5 hours. Once again, disclaimer, I'm just doing this for my benefit. Something that interests you, feel free to do your research, go down the YouTube rabbit hole, etc., etc. So we're almost at half a jug here. I am the type of person, I will try anything once. We're here to learn, and we may not necessarily get a good result every time, but at least you learn and you adjust and go forward. I did say I'll try anything once, right? With the exception of probably holding a worm. That ain't happening. So And for me, picking the flowers that were not fully opened seemed to be the best option, because then you could pull the petals much easier. So I was looking at a video on YouTube, and the guy was talking about why you shouldn't cut down or weed dandelions, and he talked about it being the first flower that blooms in your yard, and it's good for beneficial insects. The bees are waking up, the birds are looking for seeds, that kind of thing. So that's why his suggestion was, do not get rid of dandelions in your yard. So I'm gonna get, you see the pollen on my fingers. I don't know if you could see the yellowing, but yeah. So we're gonna try this. Hopefully I get a 4-ounce jar of Saff, and if it comes out to my liking, it is something that I will continue to implement. Alright, so I have a few of the dry petals in here as well as some of the fresh ones. I had only put 3 of the dry ones, and it just wasn't getting, didn't see potent enough for me, but it has a wonderful aroma, and I have it steeping in some hot water, and I'm gonna try that once I take the flowers out. As to my grounded pepper powder, this is what it's looking like. It's a fluffy consistency, and I can always add these to stews and stew, soup, that kind of thing. I could also put it in a tea bag and probably use it in that variation for my teas. So let me get this in the basement and I'll bring you back. All right, so we're down in the basement, and this is the grow station with all the zinnias, and everything is looking good. I'm seeing some kind of moss or on these in the middle. I think they probably waterlogged, so I took the covers off. This is the envy that's supposed to go by the wishing well. It's the green one, and these are the other varieties. So far so good. All right, so I got the tea strained, and there is no bitterness, so I'm thinking, according to the videos, if you got the green part in, it could be bitter. So there's no bitterness. It just tastes like brewed herb water. So I've opted to, I'm gonna put some raw honey in mine, a little bit of sweetener in there, and I figure I'd do a update on this pumpkin here. I think we're going on, what, 7-8 months, and it's finally starting to show signs of distress. So most likely I'm going to cut the head off, try to save some of the succulents, and disregard the bottom. So that being said, I'll bring you back later. Alright, so I got tired of juicing with my Vitamix and decided it was time to invest in a juicer. So my sisters were nice enough to buy me a juicer for my birthday. So I got my juice already done. In here we have pineapple, cucumber, ginger, and lemon, and 2 pieces of celery. And I found the cleanup to be easy. Already have the unit disassembled and washed up. This is the base over there, and I am going to look forward to juicing the normal way.